Hello everybody, Mr. Sheeran here, and today we're going to be talking about our playing positions and our fulcrum. We are actually going to start with talking about our fulcrum. My pad's set up, it's about waist height, everything's ready to go. Now I have one stick in my hand. We have to learn how to hold the sticks. Now let's put our stick on our pad. Let's keep one hand on that so it doesn't roll around. We got to talk about where we're going to hold the stick. So, everyone give me a thumbs up. Good. Now I'm looking at my thumbnail. This is step one. We want to put our thumbprint, our thumb, on the stick. So I'm looking at my thumbnail, thumbprint. I'm scanning my ID right now on the stick. The next thing we're going to do is close our index finger. Now we have to be careful where we do this. Right here, that's low. My index finger is below my thumb. Up here, see, I can't even do it. Pretend I'm going to hold my stick like this. Look at my index finger and my thumb. Now my index finger is really high. We actually want them like pretty much right next to each other. If we were to take the stick out, we can make a T with our thumbnail and the first crease of our index finger. So you see where your finger bends? That little line right there, that's about where our thumb's going to meet that. And we can make a T. If I'm still looking at my thumbnail goes into my index finger into that first crease. We put a stick there and I can check for that. Yep, I see my thumbnail. My thumbprint is on the stick. If my thumb were to go through the stick, I would actually be touching that first index finger crease right now. Now, some of you are probably like, what is this fancy fulcrum word? I want you to think of a seesaw. When you get on a seesaw, a teeter-totter, there's a lot of names for it. The fulcrum's that pivot point. Our fulcrum's right here. It's what everything kind of moves around. So the same thing applies in percussion. When we're holding our stick, that's our pivot point. That's what's doing a lot of the work and a lot of the movement. So it's very important that we keep our fulcrum intact all the time. So once I find my fulcrum, thumbprint, index finger crease, we're going to close this gap right here. We don't want it to be open. You see that opening? We're going to pull that stick into our palm. Now we wrap the fingers around the stick. Now, check out where my stick is right now. I have a little bit hanging out the back here. If I'm looking at my hand, I have my pinky finger, pinky knuckle, all that stuff. There's a fatty part of the hand right here. Everyone has it. That's what the back of your stick is touching. It's not going to be up here in the fingers and the knuckles, and it's not going to be in the center of our hand. You want it outside the knuckles and the fatty part of the hand. Like, let's hold the stick way up here towards the bead. Can't really play like that. That's weird. Let's hold it halfway. I mean, kind of, but I don't feel like I'm getting the full sound and the full weight of the stick. Let's go all the way to the back to where we have nothing hanging out. Okay, I can play like that, but I don't really have a good sense of control. I'm barely holding on. Let's move our hand somewhere. Let's say the last third of the stick. If we were to somehow break our stick up into thirds, we're going to find about the last third of the stick. I'm using Salyer Percussion Jeff Moore concert sticks, JM2s, and a good spot for me is right under the Salyer's logo. There's a little like circle thing right here. That's where I put my thumb, and that gives me about the back third of the stick. Something else we need to check for. Once my fulcrum's figured out, I got my back fingers wrapped around the stick, let's talk about where our arm and wrist and all that are gonna be. An easy thing for us to do, put our stick to our pad, look at the back of your hand. We're gonna stick the back of our hand up towards the ceiling. Cool. Let's grab another stick. All right. Now, we're going to just copy and paste what we figured out with one hand onto the other hand. Let's put our thumbprint on the stick. We're going to make that T shape from our thumb into our index finger in that first crease. There are my fulcrums. Right there. Wrap the back fingers around. Let's place our sticks over our pad. We're going to check the back of our hands to make sure the back of our hands are up towards the ceiling. Are the back of my hands up towards the ceiling? How about now? How about now? How about that? That looks good. We're chilling out. We're going to call this our ready position. This is our ready position. Show me ready position. Behind the pad. Belly button's right about here. Center on the pad. Now we're going to go to set position. Let's do that again. Ready position. Set position. All right, we're gonna get one stick out of our hand. I'm gonna place it on the ground. So pretend I'm set up, I'm in set position, already found fulcrums, all that's good. Now we have to define this set position. We all have to match. So things we discuss, things we talk about, things we look for. Bead, this is the bead of the stick, the very tip of the stick, as close to the head as possible without touching the head. We don't want it actually resting on the head, but we want it as close as humanly possible without touching. There's different angles we can achieve here, right? That's kind of weird to play like. Let's go all the way down. Well, if your pad has a rim, you can't really do that either because now I'm hitting the rim, right? So I can't go all the way down. We want to find an angle that we can all get to with relative ease. A way I like to discuss this is with your opposite hand that doesn't have a stick in it. We're going to have 2 fingers and we're going to put 2 fingers under our stick. So I have 2 fingers on the rim. So the angle we like to approach is about 2 fingers. Creates a downward angle. We don't want to actually be flat because that can hit rim. And we don't want to be way too high because you ain't going to play very well. We want about 2 fingers from the rim up to the stick. This creates a downward angle. So now we have another thing to check out. We have our fulcrum, back fingers on the stick, back of the hand up towards the ceiling. We have 2 fingers from the rim to the stick creating a downward angle. Copy and paste. Check out that left hand. Now, you might have already picked this up. When I'm in the set position, I'm kind of making like a triangle shape, right? My beads are extended outward from my belly button and right in the center of the pad, right in the middle. Have my downward angles, have my 2 fingers. We have a good triangle shape. Since we're on pads, we're just gonna look for a good triangle shape. You're gonna hear me refer to it often as pizza. So we want a good chunk of pizza right here. That's like a half pie. That's most of it is now it's flat. I see 2 halves of a circle right now. That's way too wide. This looks weird, right? Have you ever seen anyone play like that? Doesn't look great. Feels tense. All right, this feels good for me. This triangle, this pizza. Let's get like a really thin piece of pizza. That's weird too. So we just, a good piece of pizza. Let's review some of the things we've talked about. We have our fulcrums, thumbprint into the stick, index finger making a T shape from thumbnail into index finger, the first web, the first crease, back of the stick into the fatty part of the hand, back fingers wrapped around the stick, set position, 2 fingers from the rim up to the stick creating a downward angle, back of the hands up towards the ceiling. Good piece of pizza. Ready position. Let's check it all out. Set position. Awesome. So that's about it. Bye.